Hey, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, we got some hot stuff here today. And for all of you that don't know, the Demkos have done it again. Yes, they have. The AD20.5 is at the Knife Center. A Knife Center exclusive. Hot stuff. They have the new titanium. They have new G10 parts and carbon fiber scale parts and backspace, or not backspacer, but standoffs, either titanium or stainless steel. And you also can get the 3V steel ones, and with the Grivex handles for a 189, and the titanium one with the 3V blade is 315, I believe. I think they still have the clip blade and some others. You might want to go check it out before they're gone. I had to get one. You know me. I'm a straight up AD20.5 addict. I had to get one. The Demkos did that on purpose. They did that on purpose. I had to get one. I got the new titanium one. The new titanium one is different from the other ones because of it's got the pivots like this. And it's got an open back like this, like the S models. So it looks like a miniature version of the S models now. But I had to get it. Hot stuff. What's up, Juju? Huh? You can't wait to see the new AD20 that Grandpa ordered? I know you can't, because you're a knife addict too, aren't you? Or a knife video addict anyway. You always like to get in the videos. That's my girl. Okay. Well, what we got going here today is some parts from Original Goat. Some parts from Original Goat. And you might got a clue here because I got my AD20S's out. These aren't the .5s, these are the bigger ones. These are the S's. But anyway, let's get busy with them. Doing the unboxing today. This is my favorite pocket knife, if I can get to my pocket here. My AD20.5. This is the one I find myself carrying the most. Of all my AD20.5s, this is actually the one I carry the most. It has the Grivex handle scales. It's got the DLC coated AD10A blade. And the AD10A blade works like a charm. I've been using this pretty much every day and hasn't even gotten close to being dull or anything. So it holds the edge, for everyday use. It's a perfect little blade. I still wish they would have, the price wasn't so expensive for it, considering the materials that's used to make it, but this is an awesome knife. Nothing's more fidgety, should I say, than the Shark Lock. I know the Atlas Lock is coming out, but every time I see Stickman using the Atlas Lock, he always has to use two hands to close it. Because it's a mid-lock. It's not the lock's not in the front of the knife where it's easy to handle. This is my favorite. Out of all the knives I've tried, and y'all know I've been through a bunch of them, every type of lock that I can think of, this is the best. And the pivots don't come loose. It stays strong. It's a strong Loctite. I have total faith in it. It's awesome. Now the Atlas Lock, I don't know, it may be stronger than this one. I saw the Atlas Lock hang, 726 pounds off of it, off a knife that was like the same size as this one, and that's extremely awesome for a small knife. So no doubt, I'm not saying that the Atlas Lock is probably extremely strong, but I can't picture it being as fidgety. This one's strong too. It may not be as strong as the Atlas Lock, but it's strong enough. Absolutely love it. All right, here we go. How are we gonna open this? Let's try it this way. Open it that way. Oh, that's how it opens. Okay. I got a couple of back spacers. These look different than the AD20.5 back spacers. Looks like I got one that's for a a clip blade, and one that's probably for a shark's foot blade. Awesome. I guess you guys can notice what's going on now. Review your new goat and receive $20 off your next purchase of $100. They should have been giving me some rebates. Because I've done lots of goat products. They owe me some money, huh? I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna check into that. I'm gonna see if I get some money. Oh, here they are. The black back spacers goes with this one. These are aluminum scales. I can't remember what pattern this was. Does it say on it? Can't remember what pattern it was. I know I got two different patterns. But this is for one. I think this was the one I intended to put on the shark's foot blade and replace the Grivex scales with aluminum scales. They feel pretty stout too. These are thick. And this is the one I got for the clip blade. This is a natural aluminum on this one. Let's take a look at them. And these were made to order. You order them and then you have to wait a long time for them to come through because if they make them. Ah, that's sweet. Now this scale is going to add a lot of strength to the blade. I mean to the knife, because you can see how thick it is. Because the S models don't have a stainless steel liner that runs the length of the blade. They have a partial stainless steel liner. You can see where the cutout is for it, or where it's milled out or whatever. And the rest of it's solid. So this is a pretty heavy duty piece of aluminum there. And I got this, the unfinished one, because the unfinished one I don't have to worry about the finish wearing off of it and I can carry it all the time. So I plan on carrying this one all the time. I sort of feel like I should do the shark's foot. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. Which one I want to do for which one. Let's take this out too. Oh, there we go. There's a. That goes with that set. And let's just do one right now. I'm gonna do this one first. So the video won't be too long. Y'all can see what I'm doing, and then I'll show you. I'll do another video with them all assembled. Let me see. What do I want? I actually like carrying the shark's foot blade the most. So I probably should put this one on the shark's foot blade. It looks like I could probably use the standoffs too if I want to. I don't know, let's check it out. Let's take this apart. Got the T10 here. Got a little bit of red Loctite on there. Those are T8. I'm going to fully disassemble it. Both sides spinning. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you all doing okay. This video's finding you in good health. Everything's okay in your world. But yeah, I had to get the other AD20.5 when I saw those come out. You know me, I'm a bona fide knife addict. See, this is what the scale looks like for the S model. It's different. These are different than the AD20.5s. Tight fit on those. See if we get this to come loose. All right. The spring, the slide. The blade. I can't find custom bearings for this one though, because I wanted to put custom bearings in it, but I couldn't find any. So I'm still using the stock bearings, which are perfectly fine. They work perfectly fine. I haven't had any issues. All right, let's wipe these parts down. Because it was, I'd previously taken it apart and lubed it all up and tuned it up the way I like it. I do like the finishes on them, but I wanted to get a finish that, because me, I get kind of, meticulous about things that start showing wear and stuff. I stop carrying them lots of times because I don't want to get too worn out looking. But with this with no finish on it, just being raw aluminum, I don't have that issue. And that's why I decided to do it this way. Because normally I like my things all blacked out. But with aluminum, you got to deal with, if it's finished, you got to deal with the finish wearing off. Whereas like if something's G10 or Macard or something, you don't have to worry about that. Or even Grivex. Or FRN. Look at the way these fit. Perfect fit. These feel like they got some weight already. I think it's gonna make the knife heavier. Because these don't feel like anything when you pick them up. They don't feel like they even have weight. Okay, the bearings. Put some fresh grease on them before I put it all back together. This is what the bearings look like for this one. Militech 1 grease, that's what I'm using. Lithium grease. These bearings actually look like the same bearings that go on the AD20s, 20.5s I mean. But the 6mm bearings that use the skip bearings that use in the AD20.5 won't work on this one. I tried it already. So the bearings on the AD20.5s I think are slightly oversized for the AD20.5. I think they're using the same bearings that they use in the S models. Probably cuts down on cost by doing it that way. I think they were really made for this model. This only goes in one way. This has a groove in it. I wonder if the new AD20.5 has got the exact same setup. There you go. Make sure it's nice and flush. Then you set it down. You got to sort of like push down hard on it. Make sure it stays in its part in the slot. Make sure you don't have any grease on the threads. Now we can start to put it together. Wipe these all down. I forgot to put a drop of oil. I always like to put a drop of oil on there too. Let me do that too. I like everything being lubed. I don't like running a knife dry. It's my experience, from being a mechanic and everything for a lot of years, is that metal likes to be lubed. Don't think metal doesn't like to be lubed. It loves oil or grease or whatever whatever kind of lubricant you got. You don't want to. I don't think it's good to let metal rub against metal without being lubed. If you want it to last, that is. Okay, let me see which one went which way. I think I need this one first. Is that right? Yep. Beautiful knives. I love the Shark Lock knife. I think it's probably my favorite knife. I know the small Shark Lock, the AD20.5. I'm absolutely in love with that one. It's the one I like to carry the most. It's got more pocket time than any other knives lately on my collection. And you can fidget with them forever, and they don't get messed up. Put some fresh grease on the spring. I like to pack the grease on the springs. One thing I've learned from Omega springs is that the springs really like grease if you want them to last a long time. Even though you can buy extra springs from Demko, It's one of the spare parts he sells, or the Demko brothers sell. This piece needs to come apart. Put a little bit of oil in this one too. Just a drop, that's all you need. That's all I use. Put a drop in here too. Uh-oh. That's okay. I'll put those parts back together. But you want to make sure this part is seated. See, it's not seated right there. But it's got to be seated all the way in. That's extremely important. Otherwise, it's not really assembled yet. I wonder if I should assemble it like that or should I use the backspacer? What do y'all think? You know what? Just for kicks, let's use the backspacer. Even though it looks like you don't really need to buy the backspacer for this setup, I'm going to use it anyway. So I can see it the way original goat wanted it to be. It looks like they made sure the backspacer won't be hit by the blade. Trying to get this a seat. Must have moved a little bit. Yeah. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, see, no, it didn't seat right, so I'm going to have to take it apart. Because I have to get that part in first. Yeah. And when you take it apart, you got the blade partially folded. You got to be careful of the spring. Because the spring will pop out on you. Okay, so let's reseat it. Should be right there. There you go, right there. That's a tricky part about assembling this knife, is the way the pivot fits in. But it's set up so it won't move on you too, though. Gonna put the blade back on here. Here's my bearing. There we go. It's already been lubed, so I'm not going to lube it again. So it's trying to pop out again. sure this is the way I want it to be too. Actually, I want it to be the other way around. I want it to be Demko on top. There we go. That's the way I want it. Maybe if I put it on the wooden part of the table, it won't have cushion. That's the way we'll do it. I don't want to let go of that pivot because I want it to pop back out on me. This guy's all seated in that right now. Yeah, these things keep falling on me. I can see right now it's easier to put the standoffs in here than it is the back spacer. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a screw through this back spacer first before I finish assembling it, just to hold it together. So it can't fall back out on me. Now I'll put on the other ones. Let's see if we can get it to lay flat. Okay, now we're in business. Now I can take this back screw out. I can put the restart it. Those are for the pocket clip. Put this one in first, the short one. And put the pivot screw in too. Helps hold things together too. Need a T10. I'm checking to see if the blade hits the backspacer, and it doesn't. I see what they did. They milled it out right where it would. Awesome. That looks nice. I'm digging it. Oh, I forgot to put on the pocket clip. What am I doing? Everything wants my pocket clip. Part fill out again. There we go. Sweet. Make sure I got everything on the right sides. Looking good. Yeah. Looking good. Check, make sure I'm not hitting anything. Looks good. Awesome. They got these right. Boy, these are thick and strong. That adds a lot of strength to the knife. Look how thick that is. See how much it makes the knife weigh. I got extra standoffs now too. I wonder if I can use them on my AD20.5s. But there, let me show you what the knife looks like. Perfectly centered. I'll carry the mess out of this one because I don't have to worry about the finish wearing off. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Original Goat. makes it weigh 6.1 as opposed to 5.1. So it adds a whole ounce. It has 1 ounce. 6.1 with the new aluminum scales, solid. There's solid aluminum scales. Thick and solid aluminum scales. Now it says 5.2, so I'd still call it an ounce. Oh man. I love it. I love it. Oh, that is so sweet. Now I got a full-size one with solid aluminum handle scales. Awesome. Original goat. Original goat. I'm going to save this one for another video because I know we're probably getting long on the video now. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. We'll call this part 1. Part 2 will be the assembly of the next knife. Part 1. These are the old scales and the parts I didn't use, reuse. Original goat, people. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. If you got an AD20S model or AD20 model, these will work for the AD20s also. With the GrivX handle scales and you want to trade them out for something other than GrivX, this is an awesome way to go. And they made these so they're not hitting anywhere with the shark's foot blade. I know the other blade won't hit, but I had a problem with the shark's foot blade hitting on some of the original goat back spacers. And that's the reason why I'm paying attention to that. Make sure I'm not hitting. And I don't see any blade marks. It doesn't even sound like it's hitting. I'm gonna carry the mess out of this one. This is gonna be, these two are gonna be my regular users. These two right here. This is only a 3.5-inch blade, so it's cool to carry to work too. And actually, I like the handles on these a little bit better, the S models, because it's a little bit bigger and it's a little bit more comfortable. Even though these handles fit my hand too. I love it. I love these AD20 models. I absolutely love them. I think they're my favorite knives, my favorite pocket knives. Out of all my pocket knives, I think these are my favorite. Now, don't get me wrong. I still love my cold steel triad lock Tontos and Voyagers and Tau Wars and holdouts. So don't get me wrong on that. And Espadas and Counterpoint 1s, you know, Counterpoint 1 XLs. Am I missing anybody? I still love those, but I gotta say, I'm being honest. I think these are my favorites. I love the AD20.5s. And the reason why I compare them to the Triad locks, because all the models I just mentioned from Cold Steel are actually Andrew Demko knives. They're Andrew Demko knives and designs and lock types and everything else. This is just Andrew Demko since he's left Cold Steel. And I gotta admit, some of my favorite knives, pocket knives of all time, are Andrew Demko knives. He's my favorite knife maker, point blank. Absolutely love it. Boy, these are stout. There's no flex in the handle at all, because it's solid aluminum. This is thick, solid aluminum. Matter of fact, let's measure and see how thick they are. Just for giggles, blank and giggles. I just want to see how thick they are. Let me pull out my gauge here. And I can't remember what I paid for them, so you're gonna have to go on Original Goat and find out. I'll leave a link, but I can't remember offhand what I paid for these. I bought them as soon as I saw them. One thing that's cool about Original Goat, they're hooking up the AD20s. They're 4.44 millimeters thick. Wow. Now it says 0.435, 0.46, 0.47. So basically they're 4.5 millimeters thick. That's what you need to know. 4.5 millimeters thick on both sides. That's like the thickness of a strong blade. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome, people. I highly, 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 highly recommend these. And they're beautifully milled and made. Absolutely love the way they made these. So anyway, I'm gonna cut this video off here. This is part 1. Part 2 will be the assembly of the next one. Of this one. Peace, Stiletto.